things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that, but it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly, let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania.
How you feeling about the haircut? You think he needs to go back to the bald?
Hey man, I'm about growing your hair out, you know, as much as you can until it's all over. So it's a little patchy right now.
That nigga shit is patchy, bro.
Yo, it ain't patch.
Bro, he's been growing that shit out for like 6 months, bro. It's not looking good for son.
Hey man, apparently dude had cancer. I don't know. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
You believe that he had cancer?
You don't think he actually had cancer?
He said that he didn't have cancer.
No, I think he got treated. He's done. He
in jail.
I think he used to have cancer. I think they were trying to. I think maybe there was an attempt to spin that into sympathy, but I think Andrew Tate shut that down. It's like no, my cancer shit is over. Like, I think he did have cancer at one point.
What do you mean at one point? When?
I saw the medical records. It looked like he had cancer.
While he was in jail?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they tried to spin it like he had cancer in that moment, and he was like, "No, I don't have cancer right now."
They weren't trying to spin it for sympathy. They were trying to get him to go to be extradited to go to his doctor in another country.
Yeah. But he doesn't have cancer right now. That his cancer time was already over. I don't think it's that he never had cancer. I think he had cancer, but he's already in remission or some shit.
This nigga you're crazy, bro.
So you think he was lying about having cancer?
I think his team was lying about having cancer so they could get him out of prison, get him extradited to another country so he could get treatment, and then never go back so he doesn't have to go to trial.
They showed the hospital records. They forged those too?
I don't know what hospital records you're talking about.
Of course you don't. You didn't look at it. I looked at it.
No, I saw them, but I didn't really examine them. But
okay, fine. But you're acting like it's so you didn't examine them, that meaning that you're likely thinking that they're forged. You're more leaning to they're forged hospital records.
Yeah.
All right. That's just don't make it look like I'm crazy. I just thought, who's forging hospital records? I think they took the hospital records and tried to flip it into something else, but
let's keep it. Yeah, let's get to the shit. Is this nigga going to jail or not?
I don't think so.
What about the sex trafficking?
Huh?
What about the sex trafficking?
I don't think it's real.
You mean you don't think that he did it, or you don't think he did that?
No.
But what about when he said that he was?
When did he say that?
In multiple videos.
You should have had your clips in queue, bro. You should have had your clips in tow. I don't know. When did he say that?
Oh my gosh. You see what you're doing? All right, let me check Twitter real quick. If I can't find it, we'll just go back to the video. Maybe we can talk about this a different day.
So you truly believe it's a sex trafficking?
Yeah, but I think the definition of sex trafficking is so broad that there's some definition, there's some examples of sex trafficking that I really wouldn't be that concerned about.
So is the OnlyFans manager a sex trafficker?
Well, let's read this. This used to be on one of his websites. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me, to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together. Whether you agree or disagree with what I did, with their loyalty, submission, and love for me, doesn't matter. You cannot reject the results, and the results are simple. My girlfriends would do more for me than 99.9% of men's wives would do for them. What did I learn in this job? First thing, keeping 4 girlfriends all happy is hard work and leaves you with very little time. So you learn how to streamline getting new good girlfriends. All women are not created equal. This is how I came up with what is now the PhD system. I learned the most time efficient way to meet girls, get them through the dating process, get them to bed, test if they're a good girl or not, and begin the process of them falling deeper and deeper into love. That is my skill, to extremely efficiently get women in love with me. That's it. And no one else on the internet is teaching this. No one. So how you feel about that?
Seems like regular shit.
Okay. You may say that. But this literally perfectly describes the lover boy method of sex trafficking, which is illegal in Romania.
And what's the lover boy sex trafficking method?
Is a common tactic that involves pimp, sex trafficker, or abuser targeting vulnerable, poor, and often young women with the impression of creating a romantic relationship.
So do you think that the woman that do they have to be vulnerable, poor? Anytime I saw Andrew Tate's girls, they look sexy and beautiful.
Just because you're sexy and beautiful doesn't mean that you're vulnerable, or that doesn't mean that you're not vulnerable, poor, or young. I don't know if they were. They might have been at the time, but then after.
But this like, my thing is like, why do you believe this bullshit? Like,
why do I believe what bullshit?
This lover boy method. Where is the line between?
What do you ask me when you say why do I believe it?
Because this sounds like a crock of shit.
I'm asking you, what are you asking me when you ask me why do I believe it?
I can't finish the sentence.
Because you're not answering it.
I am. I'm saying to like I read that and I'm like I already feel like I'm poking holes in it. Like it sounds like a crock of shit. So when you buy into this idea of this, right? Where are the lines that you would draw to be like, okay, this is lover boy, and this is just Riz?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't have to draw any lines. Because remember where this conversation started. I don't know why. I feel like I'm just smarter than everybody. I asked you, is that nigga going to jail? I didn't say did what he did. I didn't ask you if what he did was wrong. I didn't nothing. I said, is he going to jail? So whether or not I think it's wrong, it doesn't matter. If they have a law saying that you can't sex traffic, and under sex trafficking, one example of that is the lover boy method, and Andrew Tate not only has done it, but has said that he's done it, it doesn't matter what I think. Because the question is he going to jail?
I'm saying he's not going to jail because if I could poke holes in this, I think any lawyer worth their snuff could poke holes into this.
Do you think that there's anybody who's gone to jail for the lover boy method?
I'm talking about for Andrew Tate's case.
I understand, but do you think there's anybody who's gone to jail for the lover boy method?
Probably.
Okay. Do you think that their cases would have been substantively different from his?
Yeah.
What are some of the differences that you think might have been involved in these other cases?
Getting them to do crimes.
Getting them to do crimes?
Yeah.
Lover boys or Romeo pimps are human traffickers who usually operate by trying to make young girls or boys fall in love with them. Sometimes they manipulate young people in other ways. Once they have victims under their influence, they exploit them, for instance, in the sex industry. I mean, according to this, it doesn't seem like they have to do crimes.
So then, how do you determine whether they were exploited?
Did you heavily... I mean, I guess it's kind of contextual, and it takes some level of what's it called? Some level of
That's why I say crimes. Just like when crimes, it's simple and easy, right? Go finesse that nigga. Go.
But they did finesse niggas.
Huh?
They did finesse niggas.
No,
I mean, he's admitted to defrauding them on their earnings. Like he would be like, oh, well, I'm paying you 50%, and he would give them like 20%. He's admitted to doing this as well.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen him say that?
No, he said, I get half.
Yeah, and he would say that.
I think you're talking about one chick, that the one chick that threw up and was being disrespectful.
No. He said that he would generally Fuck. Another. Oh, we're gonna have to go into this a different day. We're gonna have to go to a different day because I told you to watch that Destiny video where he was going over all of the evidence. Bro, it's shocking. It's just video after video after video after video after video of him just saying that he's doing crimes. So I don't know. Maybe you haven't seen everything that I've seen. Maybe you haven't seen the amount of videos and evidence that I've seen. But I feel like if you just see it all in one just laid out in front of you, there's nothing you can say. Whether or not you think it's wrong is a different question, right? Me personally,
Well,
I don't.
Well, so we just saw that Destiny hit up, or not hit up, but Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate's brother, was talking on Twitter, and in the tweet, yeah, there it is on the screen. You know, he was replying to some dude if he would ever do an interview with Destiny, and he said, absolutely, why not?
So you think it's gonna happen?
So why don't you do an audible and play the Destiny video then?
You want me to play Destiny's video?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a shocking video.
I'm sure it is.
See, now I'm sure.
When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger, she's more fun, more outgoing. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. If you don't have a webcam company, you need to look into it, because as soon as you have a couple girls in love with you, it's the fucking easiest money in the world. No, I take that back. It's not easy money. You gotta build it up, but once you get girls built up, then it's free money. Like every other business, you gotta build it up. But I decided I want to start a webcam business. Vivian's beautiful. I said, look, stop being a waitress, come here, live with me. She came. Everything was fine for a couple weeks. Melissa obviously lived in England. They didn't know about each other.
15-year-old on a webcam?
Was that? Is that what it is?
It might not be, actually. Never mind.
They found out. They tried to have a big argument with me. I did exactly as I said. Downplayed it. Didn't give a shit. Everyone moved in together. Everyone started doing webcam. I was making loads of money. Then we agreed to the split, like we said. And that's basically been it. Since then, new girls have come along. Vivian understands that I'm hoes, but I don't care about these hoes.
He's fucking them, but he doesn't care. Remember that. Remember that line. Is it seared into your brain?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's like a pattern of lying and deceit and bringing girls from other countries. Honestly, this in and of itself might be enough to constitute sex trafficking. If you bring somebody under false pretense, you lie to them, that's under false pretense. You get them to start doing sex work in another country. I think you've actually met enough elements right there for it to be sort of sex trafficking, but whatever. And then you're camming.
How do you feel about that statement?
Load of shit.
Load
of shit.
Based on the definition of the Loverboy sex trafficking method, how do you feel about that statement?
What was the statement? Just want to make sure I got accurate.
You want me to back it up so you can hear it?
Sure.
Girls that come along, Vivian understands that.
So there's like a pattern of lying and deceit and bringing girls from other countries. Honestly, this in and of itself might be enough to constitute sex trafficking. If you bring somebody under false pretense, you lie to them, that's under false pretense. You get them to start doing sex work in another country. I think you've actually met enough elements.
So what was the false pretense?
That he loves them and he's gonna marry them.
So if you say you love a girl and that you'll marry them, that's automatically sex trafficking or boy method.
If you say you love a girl and you'll marry them, and you know it's not true, and you're doing it in order to get them to start doing sex work, then yes, that is automatically the Loverboy sex trafficking method.
So you have to add you said, what was the last part? You something sex work?
Yeah, you get them to start doing sex work.
All right. So if you take out the marry them part, if you say you love them, then what? Same thing still?
If you try to leverage, I mean, maybe, but I'm assuming if you try to leverage this false love that you have for them in order to get them to do things for you, then that will probably meet the threshold. Just saying that you love them might not be enough, I guess. But if you use that to try to leverage and coerce them or convince them to do things for you, based off of that, then yeah, probably that would probably cross that threshold.
So it's not love if you help them make a lot of money.
He said that he doesn't give a fuck. He has to fuck them. He doesn't give a fuck about them. So no, he doesn't love them. He's admitted that he doesn't love them.
Maybe in the way that they think.
You see the problem that I'm having in my brain, because you watch it and you just go, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, right? Like if you tell a bitch, oh, I love you, I'm gonna marry you just so you can fuck, that's not sex trafficking. Some niggas would say that's slimy. If a nigga does that, I'm not that mad at him. I'm like, I probably wouldn't do it, but you gotta get some cheeks. I'm not saying that what he did was evil. I'm saying it was illegal. So he's literally saying on camera, yeah, I didn't give a fuck about these bitches. Vivian knows that. I just gotta do what I gotta do in order to get them to come through, and they can start doing the camping.
That's my trap card.
Okay.
He was all playing a character.
Oh, okay. So this video was a lie. It was a joke. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe everything was just on the up and up. They went through his messages and shit.
So what if they went through his messages?
So he's selling this idea of pimping.
Wait, who went through his messages?
If I'm being honest with you, right? You might have me where it's like, okay, it's against the law. I think that's fucking retarded. It's a stupid law, some horse shit. But at the end of the day, it is part of the law, right? Fine, they can have that one. But the whole, he could just be playing a character.
All right, but what if there are actual women who are like, he told me that he loved me, but he really didn't. He treated me like shit, and there were a bunch of different girls there, and we were doing sex work, and the only reason why I came over was because he said he was gonna marry me. What if there are a bunch of women who say that?
From what we actually saw from the women was them conspiring to lie on him. We didn't see any of that stuff.
I don't know anything about that. I'm asking you what if... Okay, cool. I'm asking you what if what I just said happens?
If that's what they said?
Yeah.
They have to show proof.
What if they had text messages that says, I'll marry you when you come over. I got a ring, baby.
And then that'll be what it be, but no one's seen that.
What do you mean that'll be what it be? What does that'll be what it be mean?
That means he'd be guilty of the lover boy shit.
Okay. I mean, look, it's a deep dive.
Have you seen that?
Have I seen that?
Yeah. No, nigga, just say no.
I might have seen it, but maybe I didn't commit it to memory. I feel like I've seen that, but I don't know. Maybe not. So, yeah. Okay. So, in conclusion, you've activated my trap card. It was just a meme all along. And I get That's what you're saying? That's the card that you're playing in your Yu-Gi-Oh deck? It was a meme all along. Ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Satire.
I think that's retarded, but
what's retarded about it?
This video wasn't satirical.
Huh?
This video was not satirical.
You think so?
I know so. But it's all good.
Why do you know that?
Intuition. As a funny nigga myself, I know when something's satirical and when it's not.
So you don't know when someone's playing the idea of a pimp?
I do. And I know that he wasn't. As a funny nigga myself,
you're saying that you know that,
I know all things humor.
You're saying that you don't think he was playing the character of a pimp.
I know he wasn't. As a funny nigga myself. As a nigga who plays characters. Who involves themselves in long form bits.
I don't think you do that, but that's cool.
Okay. Well, you want to get back to the BBC interview?
Yeah, sure. Wait, so that was all you had?
I don't want to go through this whole video. I'm sure that there are more clips in this, but I feel like that's like the smoking gun.
Well, the trap card, you know.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it's
What can you do about that?
it's a little tough because it's like, you know, you play a video of him just saying, "Yeah, I would convince women that I'm in love with them, but I was lying, so they can come over and do sex work." And you read the Loverboy method, and it says, when somebody seduces young women to get them into the sex industry, and then you go, these match up 1-to-1. And then you go, oh, well, he was just lying. He was just lying the whole time.
1-to-1, huh?
It's like, at that point, what can you even do? You know? What can you even do?
Quite interesting.
Let's get back to this interview.
Let me read you then what you have said about
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
That's
that's
exactly what
no,
you said
that's
on your
that's
website.
that's no. I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
In
And
your
and again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting.
Now, what I will say is, we just saw this screenshot. To be fair to him, he said, that's not something I've said. This is not said, it's written. And he said, that's something you found on the internet. It's not on my website. It's probably not on his website right now. It's probably not on his website right now. And I did just find it on the internet. Now, I don't have the Wayback Machine with me. I don't know if I can find or authenticate that this was actually on his site. I don't know if I could do that. I'm assuming that if this actually was on his website, a prosecution would be able to do that. But you gotta take this screenshot and what she just said with a grain of salt, all things considered.
There you go.
I'm fair.
I'm happy for once.